গিটার ধর।
হ্যালো।
naming and placement.
Dr. Priyadarshini Biswal, Dean of Private School, KIIT. To add the grace of the moment, we are delighted to welcome Krishnan, the official music body of KIIT, who will perform a serene classical set, the perfect harmony to accompany the symbolic sound. And may we have a big round of applause for Krishnan.
and building a sense of belonging.
Through Automatrix, have been rewarded as a self-sustained community from UI Park. Give it up for that. A huge cheers for that, everyone. We would now like to invite upon stage Dr. Abhishek Ray, Dean of Industry Engagement, to present the welcome note for today and set the tone for the day. Please, sir, kindly grace the stage with your presence.
ऑडियो सही मत छेड़ना बिल्कुल सही ऑडियो।
Thank you guys. Hope I'm audible. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now it seems better. Always the third time is better. Every time, whenever we used to address, always the third time, means it takes 2 calls to wake you up in the morning, at least. And it seems like the same at home as well as in the hostel as well. Moms will be calling at least 3 times, right? Papas will also be calling for at least 3 times to wake you up in the morning, because there is an age where people used to work late in the evening and late in the morning waking up, and it's a scenario, right? So, with this, welcome to this particular event. I would like to welcome our guest here, Mr. Manoj. And as the profile is already been shared, I would not like to say much on the profile, though he is having a 15 plus years of experience and having a good as a vice president, serving as a vice president in the RPF too. So you will be listening from me for the next 2.5 hours of time, right? But I would like to have a brief note as Usckiit has been evolved as the PPT presented, right? It started along with your Alan at 3. How many of you know about him? At 3 Bandapadhyay. Very few members. I think this legacy of members should be displayed and be presented to all the audiences every time, including the active members as well. So currently from a 3, then it has been taken over by Saptak, then there are the good team members, almost around 70, 80 people have been there in the working as a team in the USC community, which has been saying that it is being by Ferdinand Person, but I will give credit for 3 years because he is the person who has initiated this, came to me, and he has taken it forward and included the members as well. Right? That is what exactly we have started with. And automation is the need of the hour. And currently we are talking about agentic. Anyone who have explored agentic AI? What is agentic AI? What is AI? Anyone? What is AI? No one? All are from first years? I don't think so. Must be in second year, third year. What is it? Gen AI? अरे आप लोग तो असाइनमेंट के लिए ChatGPT, then Google Gemini. There are lots of tools you are using it. You can't define it. Okay, that's strange. But I expect that everyone has got a fair minimum idea on that, right? What exactly is being happening? How many of you believe that this AI world is going to disrupt your careers? So you are confident that you can beat your AI agents? Can you beat your AI agents? No, then you are not human beings. If you can't beat your AI agent, then you are not human beings. Because who has built AI? Artificial intelligence, who has built it? The humans, right? The people like us. Now can you beat it? Because you have to sustain, right? You have to sustain in the world of artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence, nowadays agentic artificial intelligence. Now again, you do not know, another 6 months of time there might be different artificial intelligences are coming into the market, right? Are going to disrupt the human behaviors, the human characteristics, right? So for that, we are supposed to be always on our toes for learning, right? The objective of this community is learning, the continuous learning, because of this career of 4 years in the engineering is a foundation for learning. But the next 30 years, what exactly you are going to serve, if you do not learn and update yourself, probably its sustenance is a difficult part, right? So that's the basic objective of this USC community, to give you a scope of learning more and more in different platforms, in different perspectives. With this, I once again welcome to our guest, Mr. Manoj, and our 9 colleagues, Professor Prachit Bhuyan sir, the engineer president, Professor Priyadasi Viswal sir, Mr. Kiran, all my community members, and all my beloved students. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for those warm and inspiring words.
We would also request Dr. Prachit Bhuyan, Dean of Training and Placement, to kindly grace the stage and share a few words with us.
Thank you both the original agents, human agents, who really spoke so wonderfully well, and that is your strength, right? A warm good morning to all of you. It's great pleasure. Today we all, Abhishek sir, myself, Viswal sir, everybody, we are immensely excited to have Mr. Manoj Batra sir among us. Sir, thank you so much for taking time out and being with us. This is the start of the journey that how do we skill ourselves for the challenges that is coming up in the next era, where your generation has to face it for next 2 decades. And that is why we sincerely thought that to enhance all these programs, I must thank entire team of the EY Paths, the volunteers, the leaders, Saptak and entire office, entire team members who are working tirelessly to make this grand event, and the kind of professionalism presentation over here. I think our KTNs are the best in the country. Are we? Are we? Yes, sir. Can I have a big round of applause for all of them KTNs? This is we should, as Abhishek sir has already put Atri's part to journey from Atri, and there should be multiple people should continue the journey, so that after so many years, this should be established as one of a very good club, which is having particularly the robotic process automation. Automation goes a long, long way. I was just talking to Manu sir right now, and Manu sir represents NatWest. How many of you know about NatWest? Manu sir, I think we have a big task to make them aware about to know about NatWest. I remember NatWest of one thing because of my interest of cricket. It is one of the world's ICC tournament sponsors of England team and others. Yes, the NatWest series also is played. And one of the world's leading business banking solutions, which Manu sir will give more insight into it. And automation's great case, use cases can be discussed. Boys and girls, AI is going to be your assistant. It will not replace the engineers who are powered with AI knowledge. But if you are not powered with AI knowledge, this is a loudly I am telling in the auditorium, each one of you, before you go to 7th semester, you must be enabled as a AI engineer across any domain. That's why what Abhishek sir has already given you the roadmap, that you need to understand the Gen AI and agentic AI. It starts from artificial intelligence. The stack is, when AI is a bigger domain, artificial intelligence, you have machine learning algorithms, you have deep learning algorithms. Then when we go to large language model, today we are talking about small language model, we are talking about hybrid language models, right? You have to be the main innovations in these areas, right? And then when we talk about LLMs, which will generate many things, it actually generates. It generates text, it generates image, it may generate many other things. And tomorrow, to take it forward, agents are the persons or the platforms which you are going to define the business processes, which has to be automations in this field. We are, passionate. I am thankful to UI Path team. They have made our life little better to issue the no objection certificates. They have automated these processes, and that case study has to be also told that these are done by the UI Path in-house team. So we have given a case studies. We have a number of automations scenarios to be done within the university, across the various domains, boys and girls. It is a mandatory requirement like data structures and SQL query to be enabled with AI knowledge. Today is the starting time. Whatever the small time Manu sir is going to spend and share his virtues and wisdoms with all of you, ask relevant questions how you can leverage and get enabled. Everybody sitting over here should be enabled with AI. Are we going to do that, all of us? That's great. So with this particular scenario, I thank entire team which is working tirelessly. May God bless them. They are already shining stars. All you can see, they are all in black dresses, shining like stars, right? And the bright star sitting in front of me over here, and with the eligible great personality like Manu sir who is among us. And we are all there. There is Usckiit sir, myself, Abhishek sir, and Mr. Viral Neka also from our training placement department. He always ensures that our programs goes. His tireless support is also important in this scenario, right? I thank our photographer also who immensely comes and takes. Thank you so much, sir, for being here always. And his photographs are, I was told that his photographs are never taken. So use AI. Whenever he takes a photograph, his photograph is also captured. Right? So you can utilize that knowledge. Why not? We have cameras, we have image processing. Immense potential to use AI as your subordinate and make the next generation applications the best. So with that, I wish you all the best and great learning ahead. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable words.
I will now take the privilege of inviting Dr. Priyadarshi Biswal, Dean of Career School, KIIT, to kindly come forward and address the gathering with his words of wisdom.
Thank you so much. Very good morning. Quite happy to see this power-packed audience, I must say. And hardly we come across such kind of audience in many of our programs. But this itself is a phenomenon, I understand, at this point of time. Well, at the outset, I congratulate the entire team. I mean, probably I have seen it being born shortly, maybe a couple of years before. And short could have been the time, yet swift has been the race. So it is quite commendable, and I should definitely go for a big round of clap and applause while congratulating these people which have done excellent work in the last couple of years only. A round of applause for this community. Well, Professor Prachit has given you a complete idea regarding almost a kind of path, right? I mean, a kind of roadmap ahead and how, in fact, you can leverage such kind of initiative which has been taken up by the student community, supported by training and placement or the university as well. But at the same time, I would like to share some of the examples which this society has set across. Probably almost, I mean, many of us are not at all aware of, except a few of the dignitaries who have been there with me. You'll be surprised to know this UI Path community have been a part and parcel of training initiative of this university. They have already taken the onus of training students who are also quite senior to them. So this has been one of the greatest achievements this year, which has never been thought of, and hardly we come across societies which literally involve themselves in training people up so that they move forward in the desired direction. So when I say it is a UI path, it is U and I path exactly. It's a path taken up together, and these people have been phenomenally involved in such kind of initiative, and at the same time have set an example for others to follow in this university. So one more round of applause should be to those people who have started training up senior most students of this university, who would certainly come up, I mean, with flying colors in the days to come ahead as far as the placement opportunities are concerned. So heartiest congratulations to one and all out here, especially the community members who have really made a kind of miracle in the last couple of years, having been born very shortly, and at the same time they are quite visible like a shining star in the sky, as Professor Prachit has already pointed out. Meanwhile, I again welcome Mr. Manoj Batra, the man, exactly the star attraction today. So certainly we don't want to stand between all of them. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
We sincerely thank you, sir, for your kind words and constant encouragement. And now it's time for the moment we have all been eagerly awaiting, the keynote session. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from a leader who has been at the forefront of automation and innovation.
Please join us in welcoming once again Mr. Manoj Batra in this session. He will be sharing his insights on the future of agentic AI and reveal how intelligent automation is reshaping industries across the globe. Get ready for a view into the future from someone who is not just witnessing transformation but driving it as well. Give it up for Mr. Manoj Batra.
Good morning. I guess your energy level should be very high after seeing all this musical performance from that show. So let's start again. Good morning, guys. Good morning, sir.
first of all, a massive thank you to KIT, Mr. Abhishek, Mr. Kapoor, Mr. Vedasri, and the whole team here who have actually made it possible for you all to come here and learn about the future. And that is what? Again, we need to restart this. And that is what? So as you guys already know that there has been a lot of disruption in the market in the last few years. Right when we started this journey, I think when category got launched, there are so many companies who have started to build their own LLM. So it was not just limited to your LLM. Don't worry if you don't know anything about LLM or anybody, we will cover that. But after this LLM creation, there was a need of do something or build something where the decision making can be done on its own. It should not be rely on some third party or some other application. So this is where this idea of building agentic AI comes into the picture, and we'll definitely see that in the next like 2.5 hours or whatever time I've got, we will definitely see that. But again, sit back, relax, and enjoy, because in the next 2.5 hours, you will see how you can actually transform your career journey from just a normal IT staff guy to become an what? AI engineer. Yes, so we have that for you in the next 2.5 hours or so. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also a very privileged to be a part of this USC KIT. Trust me, I was very nervous when I was waiting outside, because Sapta told me that, sir, we have got like more than 1,500 registrations, and now more than 400 people. 400 people were waiting outside, and that was massive. But after seeing you guys, my nervousness has absolutely gone. So I hope you are also not nervous about that. We'll build around something beautiful, and obviously you will also know about what agents are, how an agentic journey looks like, and how you can actually reshape your career journey with the help of all these AI things. Thank you. Okay, before we do this setup, let me just ask you questions to you. How many of you are attending Agentic 2.0 for the very first time? Just raise your hand. Great, you can see that we have got good numbers of them. So again, congratulations to you all, because now we have taken the time out on a weekend just to attend this session. So a massive round of applause for all of you. And how many of you have heard this term before, RB? Just raise your hand, guys. There is no right or wrong answer, just say yes or no. Okay. And how many of you have worked on UI part before? So let me just say one thing. UI part is the RB. So you should say yes when I say RB. And how many of you have heard about agents,
वहाँ से लेना चाहिए।
So we have got like perfect. So again, a very good morning, Automatrix 2.0. As you already know, my name is Manoj Patra. A little bit of background about myself. So it's been, I guess, 16 years since I joined this IT industry. So I started with obviously with the Windows-based applications, and I started working on web because back then it was on its own. Then I started working on some of the big data stuff, and 2017 was the time when RP was kind of gaining traction. So I thought, and I was kind of very bored with building web applications because I was building that for 9 or 10. Bored with that, and then I saw one day we have got something called RP. I was just sitting in a team meeting stakeholders, and he told me that I have a web application and I want to automate that with the help of RP. That was 2017. Nobody knew what RP is because that was a new day. Because we were sitting in a like conference, so everybody was like searching for okay, what is RP and all and the people. So that guy said, relax. So I obviously give you the knowledge. They used to learn RP so that we just get to know about these tools. So that time we had got two tools. One is UiPath, the other one was Usckiit, automation engineer. And he gave us somewhere around 3 months to build that POC, and we will already discuss it now. UiPath was the sole winner of that competition. So that's how I started my UiPath journey somewhere in like 2017 and 2018.
नहीं होगा ठीक है, लोग मैसेज कर
I would like to invite our respected Professor Dr. Saranjeet Singh, Vice Chancellor of KIIT, to deliver the welcome address and set the tone for the day. Please give it up to him.
Good morning. Very distinguished speaker of the today's function, event rather, Mr. Manoj Patra ji,
I seldom find people here speaking Punjabi, right? How many of you are from North India here, Punjab side, who can speak Punjabi? Very nice. So you're all invited. Come to my channel sometime and have some dialogue. So thank you so much, Mohanji. Thank you, this particular society which has been ruled by our three, deans who've been taking care of industry engagements, training and placements, and career acquisition services here at KIT. Dr. Prashant Miller sir, Dr. Abhishek sir, Abhishek Dey sir, and Dr. Theodore Shibishwal sir. As you all know, friends, you are all in the second year, I think mostly you might be there from third year students as well. It's been my 17th year, Manoj running here at KIT. And guys, you'll be very happy to know that before I took the role as a Vice Chancellor last year at the full term of 5 years term, my UGC committee, before that I was also 6 months Vice Chancellor in charge. And I was also Vice Chancellor for 1 year. So almost like 2.5 years before that, almost 15 years I've spent here at KIT working with students on training and placement industry engagements. Training and placement industry engagements, the team which you see is the team with whom I have worked 14-15 years day in, day out. And it is in my blood. It is in my DNA as well. So I'm very happy that this particular society or the committee which has been created on AI and applications of AI and how AI tools can be taught to our students which can be utilized for their either scholar or academic related activities or maybe solving business problems where we will go and join the company and work with the company as in professionals. It is taking shape. I was being tied up today because there are ambassadors and high-powered delegation meeting from 4 African countries, so I have to be there. Otherwise, I would have spent more time. I will not talk about AI because you are the people who know much better than us. Because you are all from corporate background, or I remember they are also there, and Mr. Manoj also represents Vice President RPA and Analytics from this particular company. But you might have seen what is happening in marketplace. You might have seen the trends which have been there in the marketplace, especially with Indian IT services companies which announced layoffs. In the last 15 days, we have seen a good chunk of people, whether it is if I talk about TCS and so on and so forth. But among all this, headwinds which is there happening in the marketplace, I just saw the day before yesterday, the announcement coming from Infosys that they are very aggressive and going to get into the marketplace to hire 2,000 folks this year. So due to clear mixed responses, I don't know where we are heading with AI coming into picture, but one thing is for sure. Since last 15 years of my experience working with students, what I always tell my students is there will always be uncertainty in the marketplace. There will always be a chaos in the marketplace. So such kind of events will keep coming. There will be markets which will go up, there will be markets which will go down. Just imagine immediate post-COVID, it was in a new that India's supply chain which has got disrupted, and the way we will find which the company which to operate has got disrupted. There will be a lot of loss of jobs and loss of wages and salaries. So it actually went the other way. And there is an opinion that people talk about the post-COVID bubble which actually got collapsed because of it. But I can see the surge in the number of jobs immediately after COVID. I can see the surge in the amount of salaries in the corporates were belonging. I can see the surge in the large number of startups which came into the picture during the COVID time. I think some portion of it goes because of the moonlighting which happened in most of the companies where
senior people also thought that, okay, by working from home, they have got a time to spend and do some startups, and they created a lot of jobs and rolled down. But all said and done, market is very unpredictable, that is for sure. But then we need to, skill and reskill ourselves to be in this chaotic situation. It will remain like that. So you have to be, the mantra is that you have to be ahead of the curve. जो भी curve है, जो market influencers के चलते, market के चलते जो भी disruption आएगी, आपको उससे एक step आगे रहना है. एक step आगे रहने के लिए आपको क्या करना है? You have to be having a very clear mantra in your life, being a lifelong learner. If you see some of those reports given by some of those big time consulting firms, they say that people who were born in this millennium, the millennials who are sitting here right across in this auditorium will have minimum 4 to 5, careers. What do you mean by 4 to 5 careers? It means that there will be an orbital shift. There will be a quick shift in the career. So are you prepared that I'll work in one particular career for 10 years and again another career for 10 years and another career for 10 years? This is only possible when you have a mindset and understanding that you have to unskill a lot of things and also fast. With a lot of ability to reskill yourself as per the market. I'm sure agentic AI or responsible AI or Gen AI or AI or whatever the technology which is still very futuristic like AR, VR and so on and so forth, they will become in things in time to come. They are going to discuss. Even in education sector, our faculty will be very amazed to know that education sector is also equally disrupted by all the technology coming in. The role of faculty members, that's what I will tell you about faculty members. The role is not, see, in our days when we used to study, the role of faculty was all within the four walls of the classroom. मैंने अपने जीवन में इंजीनियरिंग के समय में अपने एचओडी के साथ थर्ड ईयर में मुलाकात की. Now that was the time in 90s, early 90s, how it used to be. And you know why I was meeting my HOD? Because I had a shortage of attendance in one of the faculty. And that was deeply my practical career because I used to play a lot of sports, especially I was representing football for regional national centers. I skipped a lot of practicals and also programming used to be a very tough guy and he just allowed me to, rehearse my practicals again and he sent me to the HOD and HOD summoned my father and I got summoned as my father did. That's totally the case. So once in the 4 years I saw my HOD. Today, every time you can walk into your HOD's chamber, your dean's chamber, you can discuss whatever you want to do. Our offices, like my offices, is completely open hours. So anybody can anytime can come walk in and discuss. These are our problems, issues, whether it is related to career or not career. This is how the things are evolved. So the teacher's role, the faculty role has evolved, where we are more mentors and our role is beyond class. And this is what has been happening in satisfying that it is happening without classroom for first time after it is not happening. I wish you all the best. You need to move ahead with the current and when you move ahead with the current, your relative speed or movement will be high. That is the best way to do. So whatever comes in your way, you have to skill yourself, you have to acquire that. Use it to the fullest extent, and then even there is a reverse mentoring and teaching also happening. Teach some of your faculty, and a faculty like me also will be very happy when some of my students come in and teach me at least one AI tool every week. And within let's say a span of 4 or 5 months, I can acquire 10 platforms which I can use for my own admin jobs and other activities I'm doing, which will improve upon my productivity. Now, these all can happen because this is what we've been talking about. We'll be very happy to know that today we talk about fifth industrial revolution. I'm sorry for this. So, Industry 5.0 is nothing but the fifth industrial revolution, and again, we've been talking about human-centric industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is what probably we have seen. AI or maybe your IoT or industrial IoT or cloud or AR, VR of the world and whatnot has all been, outcomes and products which have come from fourth industrial revolution because of the advent of IT. Now again in the fifth industrial revolution, we have been talking about human-centric, industrial revolution where human will be centered and it will be more on man-machine interface. So for example, in this case, you know that your all AI platforms and engines will be as good as how you do the prompt engineering. So if you learn prompt engineering properly and if you understand and take a deep dive into prompt engineering, probably you can able to get the maximize and you can get the maximum output from all the various platforms and engines you are going to. Last thing, but not the least one, today the things have been moving where the opportunities are coming on platforms. So please be glued to those platforms. Ideally, I see that down the line 5 years, 7 years, maybe 10 years also, most of the hiring, most of the opportunities will be platform based. It will not be through the campus programs like this. See, we have been seeing companies coming in, a large panel comes in, then they spend 2-3 days of time, so much money is being spent, they then, get excused from their regular work and they are present in the campus. They visit 50 campuses around the year. If you look into any big company, their budgeting for hiring X number of folks is quite high. And this is all going to see them stop because post-COVID, many of the companies don't want to put budget like this, they have been using platforms for hiring. And these are the platforms where students should get born and they should do and undertake projects. And projects should not be only like dummy projects or those kind of stuff, even with respect to the live projects. And if you are able to demonstrate your skills properly by connecting the dots and solving the business to the problem, business problems and adding revenue to the company's portfolios, probably company and the managers will be interested to hire you and offer you people there itself on the platform. And this is a big way coming up. So my request to all of you who are in second year, third year, that please look into all those platforms. There are many big platforms out there. The gig economy has already been knocking. There are a lot of folks. I have a son who is 23 years old and he didn't want to go for a full-time job. He is already been into big, work mentality and he's been doing something here and there, but then he will be going for high school. But later on he says that I'll work for 6 months and will do whatever I want to do for the next 6 months. That is how the life of the millennials is going to be evolved. So please look into those big platforms where if you have acquired a skill, you can go and solve such business problems. I was being told that 60 industry problems which has been given, and I think this all will be used as a case to learn agentic AI or whatever things which are going to be offered by the company or by the experts. Use it to the fullest extent, do well in your life, and thank you, Mr. Manojji, and I hope this association will continue, and we look forward to hosting you again in the campus, and if time permits, I definitely would like to spend more time with you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for those encouraging and inspiring words.
With great pleasure, we invite all our respected faculty members, along with our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to kindly come forward and join us on the stage for the felicitation of our esteemed guest, Mr. Manoj Batra.
privilege to welcome Mr. Manoj Batra once again to kindly take the session forward.
ऐसे लग कर रहा है पोस्टिंग साउंड ज़्यादा था ना इसलिए
So where were we? Sorry, I have a very good habit of forgetting things and names. So apologies in advance. Right now we were talking about 2017, right?
माइक ऑन है
So yes, 2017 was the time when RPA was kind of gaining traction, and we also got an opportunity to work on some of the market leaders that time, and we tried so many tools, the UiPath, automation engineer, and Blueprint, but UiPath was gold winner in that competition. So that's how I started my UiPath journey somewhere in like late 2017 or early 2018. So since then I've been just working on most of the RPA along with some analytics, and then there is another disruption happens when it was somewhere in 2021, I guess. What happened that time? 2021. COVID was COVID-19, November 2019. So in 2021, somewhere on the over, I don't remember the date exactly, but something happened. Something that changed the whole spectrum. What happened that time? Sam, is it ChatGPT? Yes, ChatGPT. Yes. So ChatGPT came into the picture. Everything, literally everything got changed that time. And then people started to think maybe we can also leverage GenAI in their platform to see, okay, what can be done along with RP. So that's how I started my AI journey. So it was not agentic journey that time. Why? Because there was no agent at all. It was just how to use your LLM along with GenAI, right? Then people also thought about it because people are crazy here. They have got creativity. So they thought maybe LLM is enough. Maybe we also need to build something extra, which can also help us. And RPA was kind of, I will not say something, but there was some kind of a gap in the RPA market, which obviously RPA was not able to fulfill because of its nature. The nature was, it was rule-based and repetitive. But when it comes to human reasoning, RPA was nowhere close to that. So they thought of building something like, okay, maybe to just build some kind of agent which can work along with the RPA to make the entire journey. So we have got journeys in our banks, like for finance there is a different journey, for retail banking there is a different journey. So how we can just combine all the steps which are there in a journey in one platform. So that is where the rise of agent started. Alright? So this is my this scan is my LinkedIn handle. If anybody wants to connect with me and explore something together, I'm more than happy to collaborate with that. So moving on to the agenda for this. So obviously we have introduction to RPA for those who don't know about RPA. So we'll just take 5 or 10 minutes to explain you what RPA is all about. Then we have got one more tool within the UiPath ecosystem, that is UiPath Studio. The third one here is we talk about what are agents, their key components, and then there will be a practical session on building your first agent. Yes, you are going to build live agent. And after that, we'll talk about that you have built an agent, you know about RPA, but how can you actually connect your agents, RPA and other stuff in just one platform? So we discuss about agentic orchestration, and at the last we will connect the dots using another platform called Master. And I also have some surprise for you which Abhishek sir has briefly spoke about. I will not reveal that, but we need to figure it out. Let me come to that slide. So So before I again start the session, I just want to give you two disclaimers. The first disclaimer here is, I just don't want to go to the slides here, right? So I want to keep this session more engaging. So you can ask questions, and I can also ask questions if I don't know the answer. The second thing here is, like other states, language is not a barrier here. So you can speak in any language. I can understand both of language, and for some reason, if I don't, we have got translators. And if you happen to know Japanese, we have got Japanese translators somewhere in the crowd. So you can speak in any language. You can ask questions wherever you want. I just want to make sure when you guys leave this hall, there should be no questions in your mind left behind. Plus, if you still don't feel comfortable, I'm not sure if you created WhatsApp group or not. Maybe you can just write it to us, and I ensure that you will get the right response. One more thing I would like to clarify, since AI market is changing rapidly, and I'll not say I'm pro in AI, because if I say that, something gets changed behind the scenes. So you must have seen, if you guys have been following the AI news, you must have seen that every day, if you are following all these, what do you call this, tech influencers, every time they say, okay, Gemini has dropped a new model which has performed way better than OpenAI, then OpenAI has got ChatGPT, then there is another SORA model from OpenAI, then Google VO3 has launched, and there are like 11 also launched a new model for audio podcast and all. So I'll not say I am pro AI expert, but if I'm not able to answer any queries here, I'll make sure you will get the right response. Alright? So let's start the session now. Any doubt? Any questions before we start? Yes, no? Okay, so first let's talk about RP. Again, I just want to make the session more interactive. So I'm just asking the full form of RP. What is RP? Anybody? Robotics Process Automation. What does that even mean? What is robotics? What is process? What is automation? What is that? So RPA is nothing. In a layman language, if you don't understand what RPA is, we talk about RPA later. So RPA in a nutshell is kind of a tech which mimics your action. What does it mean? So mimic means copying. So whatever you do on your system, it just learns from that and create a workflow out of it. So that is what RP is all about. If you go by the definition, so it's a tech platform which mimics human action and so on and so on. What it can do, keyboard inputs. So let's suppose if you are seeing something to an application, you are doing some mouse movements, you are navigating to some websites, you are reading from your computer screen. All these things can be easily done with the help of RPA. So I hope now you know a fair bit of idea of what RPA is. Moving on to the next slide, please. Now the question here is what RPA is not. So actually there is a very interesting story behind this. So before COVID, that was somewhere in 2000 and late 2018 like this. So I was working with a big retail chain, and that person was from Pune. So he visited my campus, and one day he asked me, Manoj, I would like to visit your factory and warehouse. Yes, that was true. So at first I did not understand what factories, what warehouses. He said, I want to see where you build your robots, because he was kind of mistaken. He thought we were actually building the hardware of it. So I had to explain him that it is not a hardware robot, it is what? A software robot. It is not a walking, talking robot or humanoid something. It is not a warehouse, and it cannot replace humans. So we talk about this if AI can replace humans or not later, but it cannot, RPA cannot replace humans. So this is not RP. Okay? Moving on to the next slide. So now the third question is, if you learn RPA, because some of you have just started to learn RPA, what is the benefit of learning RPA? Anyone? Anyone? What is the benefit? Yeah, what?
It saves time.
It saves time. Great.
Tedious it.
What? That's right. Repetitive process can be automated. What else? Can you give the mic? Okay, anybody? From this slide, you. So if I learn RPA, what is the benefit? So let's suppose if you here for any interview. Yeah.
So basically it helps us to, get behind the repetitive tasks, sending various emails, code emails and all you send to various employers, kind of like that. It's repetitive and plus it's user friendly sometimes. Like you just put in some various commands and it continues it in a loop before you stop it.
Perfect. Thank you. So obviously it will definitely going to save your cost, plus it will improve the accuracy. The third thing there is it will increase the efficiency, because if the accuracy will increase, it will improve the efficiency. Plus, a human being can get tired in 4 hours, whereas RV bot can run non-stop, 24/7. So that is the advantage you get if you learn RP, and you can actually bring that to the organization. Sorry, I forgot to tell you one thing, that we have got some goodies which are expected to arrive here in next few hours. If you don't get it, you will get it later. So there is a quiz which I want to run, and that quiz is, so once we start building those agents, you need to post your learning on Usckiit, Instagram and LinkedIn, and you need to tag 2 people. I will tell you the names later. So you need to tag those people along with your learning on what you have done, and the best post both on LinkedIn and Instagram will surely get some goodies from us. So we'll distribute it if we get those goodies in next 2 hours. If not, then we'll just take your name and we'll make sure it will be delivered to you. So that is all about RP. And if I talk about RP ecosystem, it is just not limited to, it is not just limited to just one tool. It has got so many options. If I talk about UiPath ecosystem, we have got somewhere around 9, 10 or 11 tools that you can actually learn. If you don't like programming thing and all, you can become a BA, a tech BA. If you think again, I don't want to write any code and all, you can learn UiPath Studio. You just need to drag and drop the things. Additionally, if you come from a tech background, like I met some of you yesterday, so they were telling me about LangChain, LangGraph, Automatrix and all. So if you come from those tech background, we have got something for you as well, where you can build your agent, your application with the help of core programming tools. Additionally, if you don't want to become any of these, then we have got few more options for you, like your test analyst, test automation expert. So if you want to build or write some kind of test cases, we have got a different platform in that UiPath ecosystem. If you want to build web applications, if you are a DB expert, we have got everything. So we have got you covered over here. So in UiPath system, you can do so many things. And now coming back to the robots, what robots can actually do. I guess now you have got a bit of fair idea of how robot works and what robot can do. So robot can do any application. It can perform any system level operation. It it can move your files from one location to another, copying things, all your system level operations, your RPA process can easily do. It can read and write to any databases. So when I talk about databases, we have two types of databases. What are those? SQL and NoSQL. So it can interact with both SQL database and the NoSQL database. It can also scrap the data from any web application, provided it is structured in nature. Then, if I talk about system APIs, so it can also connect to system APIs, it can extract data, it can open emails, attachments, it can do like so many stuff which you basically do on your system. Because I'll not spend too much of a time here, but these are the robot capabilities. Then, if I talk about some of the use cases which obviously you are interested in, to choose a particular domain, like what are the use cases for education industry, what are the use cases for supply chain, IT, HR, finance, banking, account, operations. So there are not many use cases here, which you can see on the slide. Again, we will not spend too much of our time here. Now let's talk about the core product that we are going to use, which is UiPath Studio Web. How many of you have worked on UiPath Studio Web before? I'm not talking about Studio Desktop, Studio Web. Just raise your hand. Okay. And how many of you have worked on Studio Desktop? Okay. Great. Thank you. So Studio Web is similar to your Studio Desktop. The only difference here is the desktop version of the suggests runs on the desktop, whereas the Studio Web is a web version or a lighter version of UiPath Studio, where application is similar. So Studio Web is a cloud-based browser accessible automation, so you don't need to have any kind of a hardware dependency that you need to have Windows, you need to have this much of RAM, this much of a thing. It is not required. You just need to have a stable internet connection and you are ready to connect with Studio Web. Plus, it can actually build a cross-platform. Cross-platform means which can run on different type of what is cross-platform? What is cross-platform? So which can run on multiple types of platforms, be it like Windows, Mac, Linux, Solaris, and there are so many. Plus, cross-platform could be, it can run on Chrome, it can run on Mozilla, it can run on Microsoft. So that is the cross-platform. And what do you need is a stable internet connection. So we are obviously going to build a UiPath app with this Studio Web, and then you can access it from any operating system. Next feature is why we prefer desktop over Studio. I am not saying that desktop Studio is a replacement of desktop. Every tool has their own advantages, pros and cons. But these are the key features why you should be using Studio Web over Studio Desktop. So it is cloud-based. As I said earlier, you don't need anything. It has a user-friendly interface. Plus, if I talk about connectors, so it has got like thousands of connectors. If you want to connect with Microsoft, if you want to connect with your SAP system, Salesforce, CRM, Zoom, any application, you just name it, you will have a connector in place. You just need to make a connection, and that connection is readily available inside UiPath Studio Web. You just need to pass your configuration. Let's suppose if you want to send an email. So in traditional version of UiPath Studio, you need to download one activity package, then provide all your SMTP details. But for UiPath Studio Web, just make that connection, provide the values, and it will do the task for you in the backend. So you don't need to worry about anything. Plus, it has got support, inbuilt support for AI and document processing. So I guess I have told you enough here. Let's talk about agents, the main agenda for this session. Okay. So what are agents? So if I tell you what is this left brain and right brain, can anybody tell me? Sorry, we have shown you this, right? But just focus here. Do you know? Right. Thank you. So left brain is more lenticular, structured, and logical thinking for systematic processing. Whereas your right brain is what? Creative and intuitive decision making. So this is what? Your RB. And this is agents. Okay? So what do we mean by agentic? So there's a lot of buzz in the market and people are still confused. Obviously we'll cover that in a bit. But people are still confused between AI agents, agentic AI, and there are so many questions. So what is the difference between agents, agentic automation, what is agentic orchestration? Can anybody tell me? Okay, what are AI agents? What are AI agents? We have a separate slide for that, but if I ask you what are AI agents? Why do we need AI agents? And how AI agents are different from agentic AI?
Hello. So AI agents basically, in my opinion, mimic human creativity in some way. Like if we look at what I say, many of them have seen Sora. It's kind of a image generation app. It mimics human brain, but not as accurately. It just shows that it can do stuff if we put in the proper prompts.
Right. Thank you. Background of, sorry, what's your name?
Rajul.
Oh, okay, so background of notes of so people actually get confused between, as he rightly said, between AI agents, agentic AI, what is agentic orchestration. So if I talk about just AI agents, so you now know about RP, what RP is, and RP has got some limitations. The limitations are it cannot perform those human disciplining side of things. It can only automate your rule-based and repetitive tasks. But with the help of agents, and you know about LLMs, what LLMs are. So with the help of agents, you can actually connect to your LLMs. You can provide them a kind of a prompt, which again we will see in a bit. You can tell, okay, and there are like some types of prompting, zero-shot prompting, two-shot prompting, one-shot prompting. So you can just tell them, okay, this is how the structure would look like. This is my input data, this is my context, this is my tool, and you need to perform an operation and return the result back to me. But AI agent, so as per software engineering practice, AI agent, one AI agent should be able to do one task. Obviously, you can extend it for some other purposes for the same category, but it should not be like one agent will do your reconciliation, compilation, and all. It should only serve one purpose. So that is your what? AI agents. But when you have a series of AI agents plus RPA plus apps plus human in the loop plus there are like so many tools, that is what it becomes agentic AI. So agentic AI is a, you can say, a mix of everything. So that is your agentic AI journey. So again, what are agents? So it communicates, initiate planning, decide. This is what I told you. Let's move to the next slide because these are the main components of an agent. So when you build an agent, you need to provide them few things. First thing is you need to pass a prompt. What is a prompt? Set of instructions. So basically it contains, okay, what needs to be done, what are the tools that your agent can use, what is the context surrounding it. So you just provide all the information that agent is going to use. So that is your what? NLP. The second one is your context. What is context? And people also get confused between fine tuning and RAG. Does anybody know what's the difference between fine tuning and RAG? And why do we prefer RAG over fine tuning or fine tuning over RAG? Okay, what is RAG? Let's take it step by step. Yes, or no? Okay, that's the whole one. Okay. Okay. But how RAG is different from your fine tuning? Okay. So when ChatGPT came into the picture in somewhere in 2021, September, October, it has got a limited memory. What does it mean is, if I ask ChatGPT, what did I do today? Or what did I do yesterday? The ChatGPT memory is limited. It can only fetch the information for a particular period from where it was trained. The ChatGPT was trained till 2025. So if you ask something like who has won 2023 World Cup, ChatGPT was not able to answer to that because it has got limited memory, the data which the ChatGPT was trained on. And that was a big limitation that time because we were not able to ask the relevant questions. So to overcome this challenge, two things were trained. One is fine tuning, where you can just pass the data to that model, and fine tuning. But it was a very costly affair because it is not very easy to create a model and then train it. So that time the designer thought maybe we should build something along with ChatGPT, which is a kind of a knowledge base for your LLM. It's not ChatGPT, LLM, which is a knowledge base for your LLMs. So you have LLM plus you have extra memory in place. So first thing, the model or agent is going to interact with RAG, your RAG. We'll also create RAG in a demo. So it is going to interact with RAG, fetch the information, pass it to your AI model and get the right response. So you can say it is a knowledge-based repository for your LLM. So that is the context where we tell them, okay, you need to take out the data from this database and pass it to LLM so that I can get more formalized response. And it has got obviously short-term and long-term memory. Short-term memory is similar to your Gazmi, which just remains in one particular section, and after that it gets lost. So the moment you are interacting with your LLM models, it just remains in that session. You must have seen that when you use ChatGPT, Gemini, or Copilot, that the memory is limited to that particular session only. So that is your short-term memory. Whereas long-term memory is similar to your teaching, right? So it's similar to teaching, where it actually saves the data across the session. But again, for some LLMs, it is very limited. You can go to ChatGPT and see that what all instances it has stored for you. So let's suppose if you want to save a digital signature and you don't want to save it to a particular session, you can ask ChatGPT, okay, now I'll be using this digital signature for future communications. So ChatGPT has got a secondary memory, again unlimited, like 5 MB or 10 MB, not more than that. It will save all your data to that long-term memory. So that is the difference between a short-term memory and the long-term memory. Then obviously we have the third thing is tools. Obviously your AI agent just can't perform everything with RAG. RAG can only give you the data. Okay, this is the data, and your LLM model will just kind of formalize this for you. But if I want to use some other applications or some other data which is not a part of this RAG model, then I can also allow my agent to use those tools. And it could be again anything. It could be any application, or it could be another agent as well. If you want your agent to use another agent, that can also be possible with the help of tools. The last one here is escalations, because AI is not perfect. We cannot guarantee that AI will give you the right result. It could be AI's fault, it could be your fault as well. Your fault as in maybe you did not pass the right prompt. So that is not AI fault, it's your fault. Obviously, there is a separate thing called prompt engineering where it tells you how to write good prompt. But when it comes to prompt engineering, you have to be very specific that okay, your agent should do only this type of stuff, not others. So one issue is your prompt was not good. The other issue is the agent which is processing the data is not getting the right set of parameters which you were kind of expecting from that agent to come. So for that, obviously there will be a human in the loop. I'll tell you, when we are going to break this demo. So I'll tell you how you can actually involve human in the loop. Will be some practical use cases. So here you will involve human, right? All okay? Now we will just regard this. Okay? Now you need to tell me what is this? Just enter. So what is this? What is this? Come on, guys. I'll just show you. Sorry? One by one. What is that? Googly. What is that? What does that googly means? What does that googly means? I hope now you get the answer. So here you are training or instructing, right? Your prompt. Okay, so this is your prompt. So this is your user prompt and system prompt. So obviously when you pass or create a model, you need to send two prompts. What is your agent will do and the type of input it is kind of a expected. So this is what your prompt is. Okay. Now what is that? The other image. What is that? Anybody? You will get a chance to win money. Just raise your hand. So you have already won. You have already won. Sorry? So what is that? Tools, escalations, context routing, what is that? Right, absolutely. So this is what your context routing, where you're telling your LLM model that okay, these are the files or database you need to refer. So one is your prompt, where you tell okay the action that you need to perform, and then you need to take reference from some database. It could be any database from Python. There are so many vector databases available in the market. So you can just tell okay, or maybe you can create your own. Again, we'll see in a bit. So that is your context. What is the third one? What is that? Tools. Absolutely. So these are the tools that your model is going to use. Perfect. And the last one here is what? What is that? That is human escalations. So if your model is not kind of producing the output that you want, we already have what a human will do. So now I hope you know what are the components of agent in a fun way, right? I hope you will not forget this now when creating a model. So it will have a system prompt, user prompt, which we call it as prompt engineering. Then definitely we'll pass a context. After context, if we think the model should use any kind of a tool, then we will tell the model, okay, you have access to these number of tools, use it. And for some reason, if the model is not able to achieve a threshold value, then there is a obviously human recipe. Perfect. Okay. So I've already talked about this, how agents are different from agentic AI, but I'll just spend 2 minutes over here. So AI agent, you know, it's a design to perform a specific task, only a specific task. Just remember the principle of software engineering here. An AI agent should do only one task. It should not be like to save the money or to save the code, you create thousands of agents in just one agent. No. So AI agent will just do one task for you. Whereas agentic workflow is what? It's an orchestration of multiple agents, RPA processes, apps, and actually, you covered that. 2 brothers of writing. Escalations. Perfect. Moving on to the next slide. So when you define an agent, obviously agent should have a blueprint that a template needs to be followed, and it could be different for different type of agents. I'm not saying this is the right one or this is the wrong one, but it's a standard template that we use while building the agent. So when you build an agent, you need to specify what is the agent role. You should not be writing this. Again, it's a software engineering practice or agentic best practices that you should not be right. You are a helpful assistant. No. You need to tell the agent that you are from a particular domain. Let's suppose if I want to review some code, then what should be the agent role? It could be a solution architect. It could be a project manager. So I need to tell that as a project manager or a solution architect. So this is my role, which I am going to give to the agent. Next, where my agent is going to execute, the context or the environment. Perfect. The third thing here is, what is your expectation? So if you say I want to do this by using this and this, because you need to pass a proper prompt so that agent can work accordingly. And then you also give them a choice to interact with users, systems, or the other agents that you have created. So everything is done now, but how are you going to describe or measure the successes or what should be the output? So you need to also tell that, okay, I am expecting the output in this format. Again, we see that I'm just keeping that excitement. So we'll just tell the agent that, okay, this is the input, this is the output, and this is the output format as well. This should not be like agent can return you, okay, here's your output. No, I don't want that. I want output to be in a structured format. It could be table, it could be JSON, it could be HTML, it could be anything. So you just need to pass that to the agent that, okay, I am expecting the output in a markdown language, in a tablet format. Similarly, so when you get the data returned from an agent, you also need to measure it and this is where the escalation comes. So let's suppose if I say I need to get the data in a particular format, but for some reason, because of the data that I provided, or for any reason, the agent is not able to return the data in that format. So this is where your success criteria comes in. And here you will apply a threshold value. That, okay, if the accuracy is, let's suppose 70%, then I'm okay with that. But if the accuracy is somewhere between 50 to 70%, maybe I need to see. So it will be a human in the loop test. But if the accuracy is less than 50%, that means it is crap, nothing. So you just reject it straight. So this is your agent story loop. Now we will just I'll just show you if you want to create a college event organization. This is not the actual demo part, but if you want to create a college event organizer, what should be the personas and what should be the roles that you need to include? So first thing obviously is your persona or the role. So here I have told that act as a college event organizer. So here you have given the agent a particular role, right? And then we have some. Then we have the role activities. Okay, these are the things that my agent is gonna perform. Then the knowledge context, your tracks and all. What are the KPIs for that? What is the input context, your input data? And what are the output and stuff. So this is how you can actually design your agents, and this is all the tools that you're going to use. Perfect. And now I just talk about what should a good prompt look like, and then we just head over to the demo. So as I said earlier, you need to have a role in place, and this is very important, because if you don't pass the right role, then your agent output might not be good, it might be bad as well. Similarly, what are the activities or tasks your agent needs to perform? your knowledge context, goals, input, output, and this is an example of what a zero-shot prompting. You tell them, okay, I need this kind of thing. So this is what your a good prompt example. Next, so that was a secret which I did not write in the agenda. So if you want to become an agentic AI expert, what are the things that you need to learn? Because AI, as VC sir said, there are a lot of disruptions happening in the market. And people generally say that AI can replace you. But I normally say that AI can replace you only if you don't know how to use AI. If you know how to use AI, AI cannot replace you. You just need to make sure how to make good use of it. I can give you an example. So, a few weeks back actually. So, as you know in RPA we follow all these architecture, PDs, SDs and all the documents and all. So, I generally review some of them, not all, but I review some of them. And one day I was just reviewing SDD, a solution design document for one of my developers, along with my solution architect. And I found that SDD was absolutely the SDD which I wanted. And normally I don't approve it in one go, but that time I had to approve because everything wasn't set. And I was also quite very surprised to see that person who has written this SDD that he has done very good thing and all. So I praise him obviously because he has done good work. And in one of the team meetings, so I was just discussing that thing, okay, look at this guy, he has built this SDD, and I was showing this SDD example to them. And then the guy told me that Manoj, I did not build that. It was so bad. So my next question was, then why do we need 5 days to build an SDD? It could be done in maximum 1 day or 2 days, depending on how better you are good at prompt engineering. So this is a good example of how you can actually leverage the capabilities of AI. So that sparked me something that maybe we could also build something along with Copilot, which I and that's how we also started to implement, or you can say creating these agents internally as well. Because I thought, okay, maybe if we can create an agent with Copilot, maybe we should have an agent with this. Obviously, we will get less time now, but that is good for us. Because if you use agents, it will hardly take 20 minutes, 2 hours maximum. So if I tell this to my customer, okay, I'll deliver your SDD in 2 days instead of 5 days. So there will be output saving of 3 days. So obviously the customer doesn't have to pay extra. So this is where your active scales come into the picture, where you can actually leverage the benefits of all these capabilities that we have. So obviously the first thing that you need to do here is, you need to know the fundamentals of AI, ML and LLMs. Because that is the least, very basic thing that you need to learn. You need to understand what is tokenization, what are vector embedding. There are so many types of embeddings available. There are so many types of searches available. So you need to understand which LLM model is good for using the algorithm. So this is very basic. So first thing is fundamentals. And then you need to learn about the agent architecture. Because in normal days, so that is the difference between a fresher and a techie. A techie actually understands the underlying pattern or the architecture. Because if you want to build a scalable automation or scalable agent, at the enterprise level, where thousands of users are going to use it. So you need to know about the underlying architecture, what is the memory size, what is the infra, where I'm going to deploy my agents. So everything you need to know about it. Then comes physical memory, RAG, what should be the RAG size, what is the cost, context management, vector databases, what is the difference between semantic and what is the difference between your similarity services. So there are so many things that you need to learn about your agent architecture. This is must. Fundamentals is basic, then the next part is your agent architecture. Then you should also be good at prompt engineering. Because if you are not good at that, then your agent performance would be very poor. So you need to learn what is multi-step reasoning, what is the difference between RAG, or should I go for RAG or find you by database? Sorry, not database, data model. Zero shot, few shot, one shot, these all basic things you need to learn. And the last one, if you want to become a pro, so you need to learn this multi-agent framework, how multiple agents are going to work in just one orchestration, what is the difference between AI agent and agentic workflow, how you can enhance automation workflow with agents, you just need to see the gap and fill those with agents, and what is your multi-model architecture, that is another thing. So if you learn everything, you will definitely gonna beat AI, because it is us who built AI, not the AI device. So you will surely get edge over others if you learn all these technologies. And trust me, these are not like rocket science. If you start learning these things, you will find it very useful, because you can relate those with the practical use cases. Perfect. Any doubt here? Any doubt? Great. So let's head over to demo. So in this demo, what I have built here is, so we'll build a higher smart AI right now. What it does is, so you must have seen that some of you are in your fourth year and some of you are in third year who are going to go for all the placements and all. And already you have got internal tools. So we will not try that one now. But what we are going to do here is, we'll build an agentic journey for you, which will actually find the best job for you and also prepare you for that. So for that, obviously, if you look at this structure, so we have got a student and then we have got a job repository. So this is my track. So here we have got a list of jobs. So let's suppose any company comes to the campus, JP Morgan, in any company. So they already have got their job description, the skills that is required, what is the minimum CGPA, job location, job title, and like 2, 3, 4, 5 other parameters. So all the data will be saved here in the job repository, right? And as a student, what you need to do here is, I'm just talking about the functioning here. So you will go to this agent and you need to provide few details. And the details are your name, your email, and your skill set. So let's suppose if I say my name is Manoj, my email ID is manojbatra@gmail.com, and I have Python, PySpark, and JavaScript skills. So the first agent would do here is, it will go to interact with this database and find me the best job. For the demo purposes, we'll just give you one job. Obviously, you can extend it later, but for now, we will just give you the best job matching your current skill set. Are you guys okay with that so far? So that is part one. So now you know, okay, for let's suppose for my role in Python, PySpark, and JavaScript, I have a job opening in KPMG project model, for example. Now the second one here is, it will ask for the student for approval. Whether are you okay with that or not? Because sometimes agent might not produce the right result. But again, for demo purposes, student will just go to that action center, find the matching job, and either accept or reject. If the student accepts that, then obviously it will go to the next part. Otherwise, it will just end here. So if the user selects, okay, now I wish to apply, or I'm kind of interested in the opening at JP Morgan, then there will be two set of agents who are going to run this. That is the first agent, which is your technical evaluator agent. What it does is, it will give you, let's suppose, 10 or 15. Again, we can do that as a complex example. It will give you, for that particular technology, for that particular company, 10 or 15 questions which you need to prepare. Like must-have questions. Like you need to know at least these things before appear for the interview. So that is my first technical evaluator agent. The second agent here is because now you have seen there's a shift in the job market as well. Now companies are not only focusing on your tech skills, they are also focusing on your soft skills, behaviors and all. So the other agent could also run and will give you 10-15 questions that okay, you are going for a software engineering profile at X company and you need to have those skills as well. Again, for now, there will be no set of rack that we are going to use, but obviously, if you want to extend it, there are like too many options to extend this idea. So once I get my top 10 questions from this agent and from the other agent, it will send the questions directly to me. So that is the agent that we are going to build. The second part of this agent, how this agent can be extended over here is, let's suppose now you appear for that interview. You appear for a JP Morgan interview. Obviously they will ask you questions and all. So once you are done with the interview, the second good use case here is there will be another set of agents which will send you a feedback form. That how was the interview? Obviously there will be like 5, 7 or 10 questions in that. So you can just fill out that form. This will be again as your live rack. So you can just fill out that form. And there will be another agent who is going to validate or evaluate. So let's suppose if you are not happy with what JP Morgan has done and you have written something which are not supposed to be written over here, some wrong word, something speech or something like that. So we can have one agent in place which can actually filter out those records and either accept it or reject it. Okay, if the criteria is something like okay, there is no rate comments and all, it can be approved straight away. But if they think okay, there are some things which are not supposed to be there, they will have a human review who is going to evaluate your comment, and once it gets approved, it will be added to your knowledge base repository. Now, next time, if any student or if any of you want to appear for the same interview, you have got your questions ready, like 10 questions and all, plus you have another agent in place where you can just go and ask questions. Like I am appearing for interview at JP Morgan. Can you just tell me, okay, any student experience? How was it? Was it good? Was it bad? What was the type of question? Something like that. You can ask and you will get a response. So this is how you can actually extend that to the next level. But for demo purposes, we will just stick to that because we have got limited time now. So everyone now you can open your cloud.uefa.com, cloud.uefa.com, and I'll show you